Hello out there and welcome to your Next Mission video podcast. The Department of Veterans Affairs has undergone many changes over the past few years with the goal of meeting veterans where they are. Today we're going to talk with the VA Deputy Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs about the initiatives the VA has undertaken to affect those changes and to be more a part of the life cycle of our service members. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Your Next Mission video podcast, where we tell the stories of those who have served in the past and those who are serving today. From transition to financial wellness, VA benefits to mental health, we cover issues facing veterans, active military, and their families. Now here's your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army and co-founder of the American Freedom Foundation, Jack L. Tilley.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to all of our veterans, service members, and their families for your service to our great country. Now, before we get started, I personally want to thank our presenting sponsors, Navy Federal Credit Union, whose members are the mission, and Purdue Global, where you can start your comeback with additional sponsorship from Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Dental and Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Vision and USAA. Together, they make your next mission happen. They love our veterans and families. I say it every week. If you watch this show, we love them too. As I said earlier today, we're going to talk about the VA and the many new initiatives they are undertaking to be more veteran centric. And I'm excited, pumped up, motivated to introduce the VA Deputy Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, a retired Master Sergeant of the United States Army, Terrence Hayes. Welcome back to the show.
I say horse, Sergeant Major.
Oh, I'm ready. Hey, we got a lot to talk about, just like always. Hey, would you just tell the audience just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely, Sergeant Major. First of all, again, it's an honor to join you yet again on this wonderful platform of yours. I'm a 20-year combat Army veteran, retired in 2016. That's what kind of brought me to the D.C. area. And once I departed the Army, I wanted to kind of do what Sergeant Major's doing, continue my service, continue to serving, the veteran population. And I was fortunate enough to take on this position initially as the press secretary, which I actually still do. So I have two jobs right now, but was able to be the press secretary for the Department of Veterans Affairs, our second largest federal agency in all of government. And now I'm the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, leading our public affairs efforts externally and internally for our veterans, our families, our employees, our survivors, you name it. So very exciting time, Sergeant Major, here at the Department of Veterans Affairs. And I'm glad I'm just one of many individuals here, one of many team members here with the responsibility to deliver on that promise to our veterans.
Well, it makes me feel good when I see senior NCOs moving to key leadership positions within either in the government or any kind of job or something. So congratulations for your job, and thank you for what you're doing for our veterans and their families. Terrence, the PACT Act is celebrating, I guess it's 2 years. Would you tell us, tell the audience what the VA has made as a result of the PACT Act, some of the key areas which the VA would like to, I guess, improve upon?
Yeah, the PACT Act is huge. I mean, as you said, Sergeant Major, we're in year 2 of implementation of the PACT Act. And so far, we've been able to deliver over $7 billion of earned benefits to more than 1.5 million veterans and survivors who were impacted by burn pits, by Agent Orange, by other toxic substances because of their service. And we know that we have more work to do. The great thing now is that we're able to go and build our VA experiences into our veterans' lives. It used to be the other way around. So we're going to where our veterans are. We're bringing barbecue-style type events to all 50 states, to wherever our VA facilities are located, to bring in our veterans, to bring in their families, to bring in their caregivers, to bring in survivors, to ensure that they're getting the benefits that they've earned. We have people readily available at these events to help them go through the application process, to help them enroll into the healthcare system, And so far so good, but we know that we again have a lot of work because there's millions more who are impacted by the PACT Act, and we want to touch those individuals too.
Yeah, you're doing that NCO stuff. When you're the NCOs, you went to where the soldiers were. If you're a sailor, you go where the sailors are. Find out what the issues are, what the concerns are. But one of the things that always bothers me, it's really hard to get the word out. And so, what kind of initiatives are you guys doing to get the word out to our veteran community and their families?
Yes, Sergeant Major. What's crazy is that just this past week, we had a journalist at the Boston Herald call us because he had got a text message, but he wasn't sure if it was a legitimate text message. It said VA, it said PACT Act, it said, it had our phone number. It said contact us if you were located in Afghanistan and may have come in contact with burn pits, but he was not sure if that was a legitimate text message. Guess what, Sergeant Major? It
Yeah.
was. We're doing
Good.
text message campaigns. We're doing targeted campaigns. This individual, this journalist, this Marine Corps veteran had never applied for his benefits, had never gotten his health care at VA. Those are the individuals that we wanted to target specifically. So he was one of several thousand individuals to receive text messages inviting them to one of these events, inviting them to enroll for their benefits and inviting them to enroll for their care. So that's just one aspect of things that we're doing. Obviously, we're doing the TV and advertising campaigns that you probably see across the country as well on the airwaves. But also, again, we're going into the communities. We're partnering with other organizations. We were just at Yankee Stadium this past week where we partnered with the Yankees and we were able to bring the One VA experience to Yankee Stadium, and thousands upon thousands of veterans in the New York market were able to flood the stadium to learn more about the PACT Act and again sign up for the benefits there. And Sergeant Major, one of the very unique things that we've been able to do because of the PACT Act is when folks are attending many of these events, some of them are even leaving with their rating on the spot. Had
Oh,
never
wow.
been done before, but because
Yeah.
of the hard work of our team at VA, we're able to do some very unique things, and we're hoping to only be able to expand that even more in the days to come.
Yeah, it's really funny you say that because I know I didn't struggle, but when I started the process, it just took me a long time to go through the process. And I'm glad to hear it's speeding up. I mean, are your results, are the claims being processed faster? Are more processed, I guess? More claims are coming in that are being processed?
Absolutely. More claims are coming in than ever before. Just this past week, Sergeant Major, we were able to process 11,000 claims in one day. That was a
Oh,
record.
my goodness.
That was a record
Wow.
for us. And that was on Tuesday. Then Wednesday hit, Sergeant Major, and we broke that record. And what I want people to understand is this: we're not just processing claims at record numbers, but we're even more efficient. I don't want it to be about a numbers thing that we're just, processing just to process claims through. No, we are even more efficient in how we are processing those claims. So when folks come to us the first time, that they are successful in getting the rating that they've earned initially. So we're excited about that. Again, we know there's many more veterans out there who may have tried VA in the past before and had a bad outcome or was denied several times. What we are encouraging them to do, what I'm encouraging you to do as a fellow veteran is please give us another opportunity so we can get to yes for you and deliver those benefits and that care that you've earned.
Yeah, I did some stuff at VA years ago. I went out to San Diego and different locations, and I talked to a lot of veterans out there, and they told me that the way they found out more about benefits and entitlements by word of mouth.
Yes,
And we got to stop that. We got to get the information out to them.
absolutely.
So yeah, got a great question for how does that compare with the VA's estimated number of veterans who could qualify for benefits under the PAC Act? I mean, what's the comparison between the two?
Yeah. So again, we're over about 1.5 million or so veterans and survivors who are in receipt of benefits because of the PAC Act. But when the law was being kind of drafted and estimates were being made, we kind of anticipated anywhere between 3 million and maybe 5 million veterans who could potentially be impacted. And again, these are veterans also who may have already passed away because of some of these conditions. So this impacts their surviving families. So if you know of anybody who may have served in any of those regions as part of the PACT Act, which you can find at our website at va.gov sma.gov/pact. If you know any of those individuals, if you know a surviving spouse whose loved one, whose veteran unfortunately passed away because of any of those conditions, please inform them. Please encourage them to give us a call at 1-800-698-2411 so we can get them the benefits that they've earned.
Well, I knew you're smart. You're getting ahead of the game. Throwing that number out quick, but I want that number in that website. Hey, look, one quick thing here. I know a lot of veterans, you said it a minute ago, just get frustrated because of the system is so doggone slow. And what you're telling me is that system is speeding up a whole heck of a lot. And we're working through all those issues for the veteran, maybe a veteran that maybe during my period of time, during Vietnam or something like that, we're getting them through the process. So that's a good news story.
Absolutely, Sergeant Major. What I'll tell you this is every morning we meet with the secretary, and every afternoon we meet with the secretary before we go home. And every conversation starts and ends the same way. How are we becoming more veteran centric? And that's what we need to do. We need, again, to build our systems, build how we operate around the veteran's life, and not expect the veteran to build their lives around us.
Yeah, I used to tell people when I was Sergeant Major of the Army, I used to say, you're not working for me, I'm working for you. You know what I mean? And in the same way, you ought to look at the VA is working for all those veterans to try to make their lives better. So, hey, Terrence, we have to take a short break, but when I come back, I want to ask you about a specific section of the PACT Act that really is changing the landscape of health care in the VA. And so we'll be right back. I know you're not going to go anywhere, so stay right there.
I'm not.
All right. This is Your Next Mission video podcast with me, your host, Jack L. Tilley, 12th Sergeant Major of the Army. If you're enjoying discussion, I know you are because we're talking about changing the lives of our veteran community. Please like us. Click on that subscribe button below and be sure to click on the bell to receive notifications of all of our upcoming video podcast releases. I'll be right back after a word from my presenting sponsors.
You're watching Your Next Mission video podcast, proudly presented by Navy Federal Credit Union, the most trusted credit union owned by members of the military community, serving all branches of the armed forces and their families. Their members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. And Purdue Global. You're ready for a comeback, and with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. Start your comeback at PurdueGlobal.edu. Now back to your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack L. Tilley.
Welcome back. We're talking with the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Terrence Hayes. Before we get back to our discussion, I'd like to take a few seconds to tell you about a new program we're excited about called Your Next Mission VCS, a Veterans Community Support Program. Well, we'll provide one-on-one support to address the unique needs within our veteran community, facilitated through our many partnerships with other veteran service organizations. Please check it out at yournextmission.org/VCS and enroll to participate today. Remember, we want to help you with whatever issues you or your family are facing. So please reach out to us and we'll certainly help you. Terrence, they got this squared away for Section 103
Yes.
of the PACT Act provides specific benefits to veterans. Would you talk about that? Tell the audience about that.
Yes, sir. Sorry, Major. March 5th of this past year, we were able to implement Section 103 of the PACT Act. And what that does is, specifically, it affords people like you and me to enroll in healthcare even without a benefits rating. In the past, you would be required to have a disability rating in order to be eligible for healthcare. Well, because of the PACT Act and because of this Section 103 now, anybody who may have been impacted by burn pits, by Agent Orange, who served in those locations throughout Central Command, may be eligible for healthcare even without going through the benefits process first. So what we've been encouraging folks to do is please enroll for care. Give us a call, sign up, see what you are eligible for. We understand that the cost of healthcare is only rising in the country.
Oh, yeah.
it's vital that you come to us. Not only that, we've seen recently that over the past couple years, these CMS star ratings have shown that VA facilities are on par or even above par when it comes to their civilian counterparts, their private sector counterparts. So our veterans are getting the top-notch care that they deserve, and we're encouraging those out there who may be interested, may be curious, or even maybe hesitant to give us a shot, enroll, see what you're eligible for, so you can get that care that you've earned as well.
Yeah, I got to tell you, a couple of weeks ago I got sick, and I really actually went to the VA hospital, and they put me in the hospital about 3 or 4 days, and they was fantastic. They took good care of me, and so I've been impressed with the VA for a long time now, but they really was first class in my book. How long should it take for a veteran to actually receive other benefits or receive their benefits, his or her benefits?
Yeah, that's a great question. When it comes to the benefits out of the house, Sergeant Major, right now we're averaging anywhere between probably 145 days or anywhere between like 166 days. It just kind of depends on what it is that the veteran has applied for. Of course, there's a evidence gathering process there, unless you may be part of the PACT Act cohort. And if you have any of those diagnoses, again, those conditions, it's pretty much a slam dunk. If you can show that you were in those locations and you have the diagnosis, it's called a presumptive now. So there's no need for the evidence gathering to be on, or the burden that is to be on the veteran anymore because of the PACT Act. So that's made things easier as well. Not only that, Sergeant Major, when the PACT Act initially was talked about, we anticipated the disability compensation claims backlog to increase in excess of 400,000. And to those unfamiliar, a claim is in backlog status when it is in our possession more than 125 days. So again, I want to make sure everybody understands what that is defined as. So as of right now, Sergeant Major, as of yesterday, we had a press conference just yesterday with the boss. We're sitting at about 241,000 claims in backlog. So clearly from the anticipated 400 that we thought down to the 241, we're in a great place. But Sergeant Major, we're nowhere where we need to be. And we have dedicated professionals working around the clock, even folks begging to work mandatory overtime, which we were in a mandatory overtime for about 2 years. And once that had been released, folks still wanted to do it because they want to ensure that they're doing right by their veterans and getting the benefits that they've earned.
Yeah, I just real quick here. Recently I just reapplied for some disability claims and submitted the paperwork, did all the stuff, and I mean to tell you, it took me about 30 days. It's less than 30 days to get it approved, and within 30 days they made that adjustment to my disability claim. So I mean, it really was pretty quick.
Oh wow!
And I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. And
so one key thing, Sergeant Major, I want to really harp on this for some of the veterans out there who may be faced with some very challenging conditions right now. If you are one of those veterans who may have one of those unique cancers because of burn pits or your service in Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever in between, you get to the front of the line. So again, I want folks to understand that we are making a very intentional effort here to deliver these benefits as timely as possible because you can no longer wait. So if you are challenged with any of those particular conditions, again, give us a call, go to the website, sign up, or visit a local VSO who's accredited by VA, and they'll square you away free of charge and get you the benefits you've earned.
Terrence, I got to ask you this question. You talk to a lot of veterans that get really frustrated. So I'm a frustrated veteran. Who should I go to? Who should I call?
Yeah,
I just dial that 1-800
I hear these stories, I get frustrated.
I
hear that my fellow battle buddy has had a difficult experience or a hard time getting what they've earned. It's frustrating to me. And what I've been doing is I've been asking people to contact me, whether that's on social media, whether that's via email, whatever, because then I'm able to really get into the weeds and work with the team and dig into it. But what I'm encouraging folks to do is to please contact that number I gave earlier, 1-800-698-2411. A representative will answer the phone, and that person can dig into your particular case and figure out what may be the issue or what may be the holdup with you. So again, there's several mechanisms for folks to dig into the process. If you've worked previously with a veteran service organization representative, you can always circle back to her or him, and they can always go back into the system and see where your claim is properly positioned right there, real time. So that's why it's critical to work with some of these individuals, because they have access to the system and can go into it real time and explain to you where we are in the overall process.
Yeah, I got a young lady I work with that I call her and say, I got this problem. She checks me out and helps me out real quick. Hey, I want to shift the discussion a little bit. During my period of time in the military, I knew how important it was to keep track of my medical records, and I always had for my wife and my family and stuff. So could you talk about, active duty, retired? Why is it so important to keep a hold of those medical records?
Yes, Sergeant Major. This is a discussion that we are having in partnership with our DoD colleagues. We meet once a month. It's called the Joint Executive Committee, chaired or co-chaired by the Deputy Secretary here, Tanya Bradshaw, who is a fellow Army soldier herself. And she has this discussion with our DoD colleagues, our counterparts over there, that we need to start encouraging our warriors when they are sick, when they get banged up a bit, to go to sick call, to go to the doc, to actually go to these physical therapy appointments that that they have. Because what's critical is that this documentation, this paperwork is necessary on the back end of their career to help us at the Department of Veterans Affairs get to the yes for them once they've hung up the uniform. So I want to foot stomp this over and over. I'm a violator of that. I didn't go to the doc until my 15th year, Sergeant Major.
Yeah,
And it is what it is. I mean, that's how we tend to operate. But I want to tell you, as the soldiers out there, the airmen, the Marines, the Coast Guardsmen, all of you out there, it's vital that you take care of yourself. It's vital that you get this stuff documented, because then it helps us. It makes it so much easier for us to really navigate this claims process and, again, approve these claims when we have the necessary evidence readily available to us.
Yeah, I tell you the big problem with that. A lot of senior NCOs and senior officers, sometimes they think it's a chink in their armor if they go on sick call. A lot of time, because I'm with you. I mean, I used to go, but I know I'm okay. I can work through the issues. So I'm not having it all documented. Hey, I got a lot more questions to ask you, but like always, we've got to take another quick break. This is a great discussion. Thank you for what you're doing. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Now, here's a word from two more organizations that make this show possible.
You're watching Your Next Mission video podcast, brought to you in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Dental, Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Vision.
Part of transitioning out is that dental and vision insurance breaks off from your medical insurance.
Vision and dental is very important to be able to enjoy your retirement.
Blue Cross Blue Shield makes the transition so much easier.
And USAA.
A promise is a trust not to be broken, whether spoken with an oath or sealed with a pinky. And after 100 years, we're still taking care of the military community and their families. That's our mission, always.
Now back to your host, the 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack L. Tilley.
Welcome back. We're blessed to be here today with the VA Deputy Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs, Terrence Hayes. Remember, this is your show. We know there's so many issues that directly affect you, and we want to address each and every one of them. So please, as I said before, reach out to me. Tell me what topics you'd like to cover on this show. It's not my show, it's your show, it's our show. You can call or text me at 844-424-1134, or send me an email at SMA Tilley at yournextmission.org. Guess what? I'll reach back out to you. Hey, Terrence, during the last segment, I want to talk about the culture of the VA and how has the culture changed maybe in the last 5 years.
Yeah, sorry, that's another great question. The culture has changed because, as I alluded to earlier, every decision made here is veteran centric. It's about the veteran, not necessarily about what makes things easier for the 400,000 plus employees of VA. That's not what this is about. Everything we do here, we are responsible for to ensure that our veterans and their survivors receive what they've earned. And so that's what we're doing. So we're looking at various different initiatives, especially in the next few months, that can really change some lives. But it's all about the veterans here, Sergeant Major.
Yeah, I appreciate about that. I mean, I always tell people, a lot of people talk about taking care of veterans, and what I've seen here lately is you're not talking about it. You're moving forward. You're stepping forward, and you're trying to do all you can to make sure they're taken care of. I notice you have a number of bands around your wrist. Would you tell the audience why those bands, why you have them on?
Yeah, Sergeant Major. The bands that I typically wear, so I didn't wear them right now. I actually had a suit jacket and stuff like that. They're actually in my office. But typically, Sergeant Major, I wear 5 bands around my arm, and these 5 bands have 5 scriptures on my arm, and they're a reminder of, one, just who I am and what I represent, and the kind of the moral compass that I have. 2 is a constant reminder of why I'm here and what I'm here to do, and that's serve. And 3, it's a representation of my family, the circle of friends I have, my church community, and my fellow battle buddies as well. So again, it just constantly reminds me of why I do what I do, my purpose here on this earth, and I really do. I really do check those bands out each and every day before I walk out the door, and I look at them throughout the day, because again, they're a constant reminder of why I'm here in this world.
Yeah, most I don't know most people, but anybody that served in the military is part of a family. It's a big family. I tell everybody you're part of my family. The only difference is I'm not going to give you any money. I'm going to, my family gives my money. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a veteran or a family member that's having a problem and you need to help, reach out to the VA. They'll help you. They're not going to throw you away. They're going to do all they can. Now, in some cases, it may not come out the way you want. Life's not perfect, and I understand that. Hey, before we go, I want you to tell the audience about you got a very important week that's coming up, and it's called, I guess it's Buddy Check Week. Tell me about Buddy Check Week.
Buddy Check Week, Sergeant Major. It's a major week for us. It should be a major week, and we're encouraging it to be a major week for all of you as well. What we're encouraging folks to do is to pick up the phone and call a buddy or two to check on her or him, to see how they're doing. Just to ask them, how their family's doing. How's the job doing? How's life and balance working out for you? We have seen that when we check on one another, veteran to veteran, that we have some very positive, unique experiences. We're able to really care for one another. So that's what we're encouraging our veteran community to do right now. So as we approach Buddy Check Week, jot down, a few names on your notepad, maybe some folks you may have not chatted with in quite some time, or even some people you've never met before. Give them a call, check them. You'll be very surprised at just how just they will feel. The energy level will just boost up because a fellow veteran or a fellow member of the military family is checking on them. It goes a long way.
Yeah, it's funny. I was a first sergeant in Korea. Now this must be 35 years ago or something like that, a long time ago. And I had a friend of mine the other day said a soldier that was in that unit at that particular time is struggling a little bit in Louisiana. He said, you wouldn't call him with it. I said, sure, I'll call him. So I called him, and I must have talked to him for 35 or 45 minutes about things that are going on in his life. And so it really helped him. Unfortunately, shortly after that, he passed away. But it's important to take the time to just reach out, whether or not it's a pat on the back or hey, how you doing, or just listening. It helps out a lot more than what you think. How do people get involved? I mean, I guess you talked about it. How do people get involved with the Buddy Check? Is there a website or something they go to?
Yeah, just go to va.gov. You'll be able to find out more information on there. We're going to drop a press release on that very shortly to kind of explain the ins and outs. Also, the veteran service organizations are very instrumental in this as well. So, be on the lookout for some communication from those individuals also. But again, this is a full court press. That's what we're asking for. We're asking all hands on deck. Every single individual come in formation. Let's give a call to everybody we know to give them a check Because again, we want to make a difference in these individuals' lives, especially some of them. We just don't know what some folks may be going through at any particular time. And that one phone call from a buddy could make a world of difference.
Absolutely. I got to tell you something. I started something like that maybe a year or so ago, and because I was a 12th Sergeant Major in the Army, I asked people on the 12th day of each month to call a friend, call a buddy, and just check on them and stuff. And it's something, but we need to make sure that we take care of each other. And right, you're right. That call could change their lives in some cases. This has been a great discussion. As always, it's always a great discussion because you pump me up and motivate me so much. Do you have any final thoughts, anything you want to share with the audience? Maybe we missed or something you want to reemphasize?
Just a couple things, Sergeant Major. First, I'm going to whisper this, but don't tell Daly and Chandler that you're my favorite Sergeant Major of the Army. That's the first thing.
I love it. Okay,
That's the
all
first
right.
thing. But first of all, Sergeant Major, seriously, what you do with this platform to be able to get information out to our warriors, get information out to our veterans, get information out to the families is critical. So I salute you and your entire team of the Your Next Mission family there. Thank you so much for, again, having me. It means that I did something right. You brought me back. Kind of like my boss hasn't fired me yet, so I must be doing something right. So thank you again for having me. The last thing I want to leave with our veterans is this. Again, I continue to just foot stomp this. We may not have done you right the first time. You may have had a bad experience with us 2 times. You may have had a bad experience 3 or 4 times. I'm encouraging you to give us another shot. I'm going to give you one quick anecdote of why this is important. Recently, a few months ago, we ran into a Vietnam War veteran. He had applied for his benefits for 40 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Was denied each and every time. Again, thankfully to the PACT Act, we were able to make some serious adjustments in how we do business in delivering benefits and making these decisions. His wife happened to see some correspondence from VA as she saw a bus driving by. She said, "Oh, my husband, he served in Vietnam. I'll have a chat with him about this Agent Orange thing." She went home and asked him about it and said, "I think you should apply again." He said no. She said, she urged him, begged him, said, "Listen, I'm just asking you to do this one time. If it doesn't work, I'll never bring it up again." So to satisfy her, and these are his words, to satisfy her, he decided to apply again. Sergeant Major, I am happy that he applied again, because when he applied, within 30 days, kind of similar to your story when you applied again, he was able to receive his rating at 100%, was able to receive back pay to when the president signed the bill into law in August of 2022. But the most important thing wasn't that he received the money. In his words, the most important thing was he finally felt heard and seen, that things were not just made up in his head. And that's the impact that the PACT Act is having. That's the impact that our colleagues now are having at the department. So again, we may have failed you once. We may have failed you multiple times. I'm asking as a fellow veteran himself to say, hey, please give us another opportunity to get the yes, so we can give you the benefits and the care that you've earned and, quite frankly, deserve.
Well, I hope you stay there for a long time. You're doing a tremendous job, and keep up the good. Give me that phone number again before we leave.
Absolutely. Please call 1-800-698-2411. And that's basically 1-800-MY-VA-411. Again, 1-800-698-2411.
There you go. We're going to bring you back on again.
Please do. God willing, please do.
Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sergeant Major. I salute you.
All right. Hooah! Thanks again to Terrence Hayes from the Department of Veterans Affairs for being with us today. It's just a great discussion, and he's such a great non-commissioned officer that wants to help our veteran community. I'm Jack Tilley, 12th Sergeant Major of the Army. You've been enjoying Your Next Mission video podcast. And thank you for joining us. Log on to our website at yournextmission.org and leave me a review. I always say, I hope it's a good one. If it's a bad one, I guess I can take that too. While you're there, you can visit our nonprofit and corporate partners who have jobs and services available that can assist you in your transition from the military. And check out our job board in partnership with Recruit Military, where you can search for a job that's just right for you. You can follow me on all my personal social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Rumble. I love that Rumble one. If you like what we're doing with Your Next Mission, please click on that subscribe button below. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications about all of our upcoming video podcasts. Don't forget, we want to hear from you. Please leave me a message or send me a text at 844-424-1134 or send me an email at SMA Tilley at yournextmission.org. Thanks again to Terrence for being with us today. And I just, I tell you what, I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up about the fact that the VA is trying to do all they can to help our veteran community. But if you're frustrated and it's not working for you, I understand that, but don't stop. Don't stop, because you deserve for them to take care. I mean, you deserve to be taken care of because you did a lot for this country. So don't get frustrated. Know that there's people out there that want to help you. They want to do all they can to help you and your family. And I love the story about the Vietnam veteran that got frustrated, and after 40 years, he finally got his 100%. Well, that's a little long of a time, but that's a good analogy, because it says, hey, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to help us in any way that they can. Remember, we're all part of a family. If you're struggling, I'm struggling, and we want to make sure that we take care of you. And thanks for watching. Thanks to New Mind Studios and, of course, our sponsors, Navy Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Dental, and Blue Cross Blue Shield FEP Vision, and USAA. We appreciate all you do for our military. And as always, see you on the high ground. Hooah!
You've been listening to Your Next Mission, brought to you by the American Freedom Foundation. Learn more by visiting yournextmission.org.